That was your Mississippi musician of the day, Jackson, Mississippi's very own, let me rephrase that, South Jackson, Mississippi's very own Travis Meadows. Travis's father was the pastor, or is the pastor, I'm not 100% sure on the current state, at Southside Assembly of God, right there on the corner of Raymond Road and Belvedere with the fountains out front. Travis was once the youth pastor there before he moved to Nashville and became a big songwriter. Written hits for Eric Church, Kenny Chesney, several others. We're very proud of Travis here in Jackson. Great guy. I've met him once or twice. Got a picture with him. Used to work with his sister. Great family, great people. Check him out. Travis Meadows. He's got several albums of his own original music you can download. And wrote all of it. And that's pretty cool and rare nowadays. So check out Travis. That was a song about our very own McDowell Road. All right, let me get the Facebook pulled up on my. Actually, you know what? I don't need Facebook on my phone. I got it right here in front of me. We're gonna jump in a little. So, we got a hurricane heading our way. Well, the coast way. Let's keep the Gulf Coast in our prayers tonight. Hopefully, the rain doesn't flood them down there, but it doesn't look good. Slow moving storm, a lot of rain. I'm trying to figure out exactly where I want to start. Got a couple sponsors. We'll run down that real quick. The gym at Byram, they are back open 24 hours a day as of now. 24 hours a day. 75% capacity, which is pretty much full capacity. No joining fee. $50 single membership. $100 family membership. Come in today for a tour. Check out thegymatbyram.com for a virtual tour or call 372-2229 with any questions and to schedule an appointment. Full service gym, basketball courts, tennis courts, indoor basketball courts, pool, all your training classes, professional weights, fitness. I like to joke around and say it's not a meathead gym, but you can go there and be a meathead or you can be a physical fitness buff. It's whatever you do. They got tanning beds, whole 9 yards. It's a real locally owned gym, the real deal. We have a brand new sponsor here on the show tonight. Really excited about this. One of my good buddies, Danny, has Father and a Son Lawn Care. They've been in business locally for a long time. They service basically all the suburbs around Jackson. Clinton, Byram, Florence, Pearl, Brandon, Madison, the whole 9 yards. You can reach them at 601-301-3210. If you need your yard cut, cleaned, if you have rental property and you don't trust your renter to keep it fresh, holler at Danny. Let him get you a price and get you on a plan, get you worked up. I'm going to start letting him cut our grass here. So welcome and blessed to have Danny on board as a sponsor of Jxn Uncensored now. That is Father and a Son Lawn Care. Family owned, locally operated. Danny's the same age as me, 43, born and raised in Jackson, lived here his whole life, still lives here in South Jackson. So give him a call, 601-301-3210. Father and a Son Lawn Care, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. All right, so I posted a meme today, kind of joking around, really. I mean, everything like that is a joke, you know. National Burn Your Mask Day is tomorrow. I said, I'm going to celebrate. Well, people got mad. Some of y'all are really in your feelings about this mask stuff. And I get it if you don't want to wear one. I don't. I'm not going to if I don't have to. But the people who like to wear them, it's like an all-out assault on your senses when one of them see you say you're not going to wear a mask. You're trying to kill them. Somebody told me I should change the name of the page to Killing Jackson. I'm like, Jackson's doing a pretty good job of killing itself. I don't know if me wearing a mask or not is going to be the deal breaker for Jackson and the death rate. But with that, somebody asked, is Travis doing something with Dolly? Brian, I'm not 100% sure. I've been a little out of the loop the last couple months. I was just feeling a little bit of Travis Meadows and decided to make him my artist of the day. I was just kind of in that mood after the phone conversation I had with somebody about McDowell Road earlier. But Travis is very active on social media, so you can check up with him. Does not do Madison. My bad. All the other surrounding areas. So, people are big mad at me right now on all the social media channels about me saying we're going to burn masks tomorrow. And I'm going to read some of the mean things people said about me today. It's especially funny to me on like Instagram because that's a younger urban demographic there. And they are really woke and really in their feelings. And it's interesting because they act like I still don't advertise who I am that runs this page. It just tells me they kind of live on Instagram and never look on Facebook. But I did post a post there and told them to come watch tonight because we're going to talk about them. And we're going to get to some of the mean things you said on Facebook too, people. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Christians. Tisk tisk. Let's see. Flywalker says, unfollow Save Jxn if you really care about Jxn. Fuck that page and whoever is running it. Pass the word along. Quote. Zay Heath says, that Save Jxn page is stupid and ran by fucking idiots. I said, thanks for the shout out. It's great for our engagement. He told me to go fuck myself. I don't normally cuss like this, but why not today? Zay Heath also says, at Save Jxn, you and whoever run this page are effing stupid idiots. And I'll dive into the Instagram. Well, we'll just do it now. We'll jump into the comments there. Some really entertaining stuff here. You know, these people are very, very health conscious. Come to find out, we have a lot of health conscious people in Jxn. I would have never known. There's what, 2 gyms in the whole city. Don't quote me on that. I'm being facetious. All right, so I'm on our Save Jxn Instagram here. Vertically Challenged says should change the name of the page to Killin' Jxn. LOL. I can't pronounce half these. I don't know how these people come up with these Instagram names. It says, yes, to continue the virus spread. There are some positive things here too, but we'll skip the good news. Bad news makes news. Somebody says, just yesterday you made a post about COVID-19 saying pray for Jxn. Now you post this. I just post the COVID numbers. And I say pray for Jxn. They're really not necessarily one and the same. You know, I want a track record of the COVID numbers because frankly, they're not that bad. And if we weren't overly testing everybody, they wouldn't be that bad. Anyway, this ain't necessarily a COVID conversation as much as it is a bunch of sissies overreacting to a meme about burning masks. Let's see. EABUYAN, Ubion, says, thanks for being the perfect example of why we are where we are in this pandemic. You better not make a fuss if you end up on a ventilator alone in the ICU facing possible death. Maybe you should make friends with an ER doctor who can open your eyes to the reality of what's happening. Bless you, but my following ends here. Bye. Bye. Or maybe I get COVID and I don't even know I have it. Like 98% of the other people who have had it. Or maybe I have a flat tire and my car flips and I die on the way to work. The probability of that happening are higher than me dying from COVID. Ridiculous. Y'all have got to quit watching so much CNN. And I can't help but wonder if the roles were reversed politically, how would we all be acting on this? I'm just curious. Would conservatives be blasting liberals like this? If y'all just thought it was nothing? I don't remember y'all having nearly this much energy about the swine flu, and it killed a lot more people. But, again, I just look at the numbers. I don't know. Let's see. Flywalker tells me new strain of stupid found. There's about 77, 80 comments here on the Save Jxn Instagram under this picture. I highly recommend checking them out. Very entertaining. Very entertaining. The Trump boat parade was this weekend. That was something else that got a lot of very nasty comments from people on the Facebook and the Instagram. Hold on, I want to backtrack to the mask thing for a second. I've never seen so many Democrats upset about burning something to peacefully protest as I have the thought of me burning a mask. With all the things they've burned down this summer, somehow burning a mask is now the end-all be-all. So I'm going to burn a mask tomorrow. There's a picture and a video of me floating around on Save Jxn here somewhere and me burning a mask. So this will not be my first mask burning. So I'm just... y'all blow my mind with these overreactions. I'm pulling something up here so I can read y'all's comments while I surf the web. Y'all give me just a second here. Crystal is supposed to join us here in a minute. We'll see if she does. She was outside on the phone. All right.
The Trump boat parade. She was outside.
Here we go. The same person just told me it didn't kill more people. Also said my idea was meth infused. I didn't know not wearing a mask was a meth infused science. Let's see here. Let's go down to the mask picture. And I want to read some of the comments. And I mean, these are the people who are so worried about me or you wearing a mask. And keep in mind, if it weren't for social media, 99.9% of the people outside of your immediate social circle you would never see in person or have any social interaction with, period. So what you do within your social circle is irrelevant to them and their social circle. But of course, this is politics. This is not really about a pandemic. Shane Bradley says, sounds about right. Have fun and make sure that fire is really, really hot with the blue flame. Hilarious. Post a picture of a white guy that I guess was supposed to smoke meth. I guess that's the thing. Anytime they talk about white people and fire, it's something to do with meth. So that's what we all do. I thought today, am I going to wear a mask or smoke meth? There can only be one. Ridiculous, man. I don't think those are like the only two options you have is mask or meth. What if I said smoke blunt or wear a mask? That would put some people in a bind. Leticia Span says, I no longer question why Mississippi ranks last in everything. Amy Walker says, Amy's been very active on here today. Awfully proud of breaking not only the law, but threatening my and many Mississippians' lives. And that's where we don't understand the difference in a law and a mandate. You do not have to wear a mask. It is a mandate. I don't think they can actually take you to jail for wearing a mask. Well, they're not taking murderers to jail in Jackson because of COVID. I don't think they're going to take you to jail for not wearing a mask. But then again, they're batshit crazy. They may very well take you to jail for not wearing a mask in Jackson. Chalkways Jackson. Even though they don't have a jail here. And we're going to get to that. They're about to start spending $500,000 a year renting jail space somewhere else for misdemeanors, which I am all about. It's actually some good news. Let's see. Jenny Vaughn says, well, I thought I liked this group. Guess not. Bye. And that's where also people... Save Jxn is not a group. It's a page. You liked it. You came here. You hit the like button. And now you see our stuff. And the group is called Jxn Uncensored. And you have to send a member request to that or get sent a member request by someone. So again, this is not a group. This is a Facebook page. I know the devil's in the details, just like with the COVID numbers, but try to stay on subject. I love when people announce they're leaving. I'm never coming back. Just go. It's like people who tell you they're deleting their Facebook. I'm deleting Facebook. No, you're not. You just want somebody to message you and ask why. Particularly the person that's upset you. You want them to message you and ask why. You're not going nowhere. Now, I'm okay with people poking fun and having a good time, but there's people cross the line with some of this stuff. And the governor did expand the mask mandate today to the end of September, by the way. It was supposed to have ended this morning. Yep, Elizabeth, there is a group. It is called Jxn Uncensored. We got about 6,000 members, and it is a full-blown donkey show in there. Come thick-skinned. We try to have a good time, though. Tori says, and this is, I think, good here. I hadn't read the whole thing. It amazes me how people are so disrespectful and hateful. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, great. But for heaven's sake, why such hate? I'm pretty sure the last time I checked, we live in a free world. The thing that makes people great is we are all different. This world would be pretty bland and boring if we were all exactly the same. Stop posting such hateful, disrespectful comments, because everyone does not do exactly as you do. Well, Tori, they say we're killing them. If not, by them, I mean just Democrats in general. Let's see here. There was somebody who said make sure you burn your face when you're burning the mask. I've got that one screenshot. What I'm doing is I'm putting a screenshot combination together of everybody who's said some really foul things, and we're gonna post it because you've posted it in a public forum, so therefore it's in a public forum that belongs to me. So we're gonna have some fun with that. God knows it's been done to me before. Because I'm not gonna call your bosses and get you in trouble or none of that. It's not what I do. But I do want to make sure if you said some really hateful stuff, that we highlight you. We're going to make a YouTube video about it. We're going to put everything you said in it. And have a good time. I know somebody's probably sitting there thinking right now, well, I'm going to go back and look for everything mean you said and put it in a YouTube video. By all means, boo-boo. It's been done before. I'm sure it'll be done again. Somebody sent me a meme of somebody leaving the group and being thrown off the boat by Peter Griffin. Thank you, Chad. Oh, yes. Here's full-blown Corona bro Kyle here. He says, STFU, worst case scenario, mask pose a zero threat. Best case scenario, they protect others from outgoing transmission, asymptomatic or non. Wear a mask. Stop being a snowflake about your individual liberties being encroached. Yeah, because God knows, why should we ever complain about our individual liberties being encroached? Because they aren't. And I think about people think about people other than yourself for a change. It isn't about you. It is about me. It's about all of us. I've avoided saying this because it's kind of cliche at this point. If mask works so well, you wear yours and you'll be safe. If y'all are worried about Mama and Pawpaw and Grandma and Granddaddy and anybody else, I love my parents and grandparents, or my grandmother's the only one that's left. We should not punish the healthy. I'm not going to go down that road. Wear your mask. If it works so well, wear your mask. Go buy one for your family. If you're in bad shape, if you're diabetic, cardiovascular issues, any of that stuff, maybe you may need to sit this out. I mean, that's all I'm saying. Everybody else shouldn't have to adjust their life over some of your bad decisions. And some of them, I get it, aren't by choice, so on and so forth. But look, man, we're going to live our lives. Yeah, y'all talk about Trump this, Trump that. Trump ruined America. Trump shut it all down. The Democrats have shut it all down. It's the Democrat cities. Look at Jackson. I need to go pull the numbers up based on per county. But Jackson has run their businesses through hell and back. Especially anything to do with social gatherings, bars, restaurants, anything like that, gyms, public events, school, football, everything. And I bet Jackson still has higher COVID rates per capita than Rankin County, Madison County, or any of the others that haven't skipped a beat any more than what Tate put in place. I don't know this to be fact, but I'm pretty sure. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that that's probably the case. I don't stalk the numbers in detail like that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. I mean, there's people in here celebrating Herman Cain dying when his own family has come out and said it had nothing to do with the Trump rally. Herman was a stage 3, stage 4 cancer survivor. They got COVID. He was on his way out. It sucks. But, I mean, to politicize somebody's death is just disgusting. Let's see here. There's just so many good, nasty comments from people. Freeman Walker says, let me know about how that works out for you with a Cat Williams meme. Look, y'all can go look at the comments. There's so many of them. It's kind of hard to weed through them all. But come on, man. Let's if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If I don't, I won't. Again, we probably aren't going to end up in the same places anywhere. Like literally, like if they COVID traced us, we probably don't run in the same circles. Really. The throwback picture of the day, the then and now, was of Scotty's restaurant here in South Jackson. Got an old picture of it with what it looked like back in the 90s, and then with a picture of what it looks like currently. It's really not bad currently. It just ain't Scotty's anymore. It went through a downtime, but I think a church or somebody bought it and redid it. It looks pretty, well, I would say cool. It's clean, which is a lot more than I can say for most of South Jackson. I still can't believe, you got to be really big mad to send somebody a message, a random stranger, a message on Facebook because of a meme they posted and telling them to go F off and they're an idiot or an effing idiot. And it's always these pages that you'll never know who run them. I'm pretty public about who I am, and this is really kind of my page. So, anything that gets posted it's me. It's me speaking to a bigger audience through this. I'm pretty sure that I've never taken this page and seen something that angered me on Facebook or Instagram and sent somebody a nasty message unprovoked and called them an effing idiot or anything like that. But that's what woke Jackson does. And they tell you that we're worse for Jackson than anything. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure Save Jackson hasn't caused one of the 88 murders in town this year. Mask or no mask. I wonder how many of those got counted as COVID. I know the mayor's insinuated that the stress that COVID has brought upon people is causing a higher crime rate. What was it last year? What was the excuse last year? Just the heat? Man, let's read some of that crap. All right, let's bounce around here. I mentioned that the city is going to, or at least Kenneth Stokes proposed them to start renting some jail space in other areas, other jurisdictions. $500,000 a year to rent jail space for misdemeanors. This is on the Jackson Free Press. Quoting Ward 3 Councilman Kenneth Stokes proposed another amendment for contracts with other jurisdictions to offer jail space for misdemeanors, saying it will help make the city safer. We need to have jail spaces, he said. We can rent jail spaces for misdemeanors and have a place to take them. The money will come from the savings of this budget year from the fund balance. Hell, where did the $80 million go from Siemens? When Banks questioned him about the price tag of the proposal, Stokes said $500,000. We can take this money and pay for the jail space, and let's get some of these criminals off the streets and make this city safe, he added. We can contract with other jurisdictions. In the past, I think they did it with other counties, so we can take these criminals out of this city because the misdemeanors are creating a lot of havoc because they have the green light because there is nowhere to house them. Absolutely one of the rare times that I agree with Stokes on something. Now, how feasible it is to actually go lease jail space from other places? I don't know. I've never been involved in any shenanigans like that, so I would not be the person to ask. I know we have a couple of councilmen who watch this show every now and then and keep up with this page. Maybe they can tell us. Stamps is we've talked a few times. Maybe he can answer that question for us. The key for stamps. So that'll be interesting. I mean, look, it all starts with little crime. We always talk about like gateway drugs. Well, there's gateway crime. Misdemeanors are gateway crimes. If you get away with them and you get away with them and you get away with them and there's no punishment, then you start working your way up to felony crimes. I mean, this isn't rocket science. I mean, we know what the problems are. Yeah, Christie asked, why can't they build their own jail? $1 million credit. Why haven't we? Why don't we have our own morgue? It's all kind of stuff. The city is in disrepair. Nobody cares. I thought about something today on the way to work. I tell y'all, I watch a lot of YouTube. I type in Jxn, Mississippi, and I check it daily just to see what's popped up, what other people are doing outside of my circle. And what I see is a lot of local rap videos. And 99% of them, and this is just rap music in general, but this is specific to Jxn, and I'm not knocking it. A lot of the braggadocio about it is bragging about how hood your hood is. My hood is worse than your hood. My hood is more violent than your hood. Like nobody wants to say I'm from the suburbs. Nobody wants to say we got crime under control in my hood. It's all about my hood is worse than your hood. And then the videos basically look like a Save Jxn video minus the rappers, or plus the rappers. And that really hit me the other night watching that. I was like, what they're doing is absolutely no different than what I'm doing, except I'm not glorifying drugs and violence and all that. I'm calling it out. And these are typically the same people who hate me for saying the same thing they're saying, just in a different way. And that really hit me this morning as I was getting off on Highway 80. I was like, we're really doing we're showing the same exact thing with a different message. They're glorifying it, and I'm vilifying it. But we're showing the same pictures. Why is what I'm doing wrong? I'm just curious. So, moving on. Y'all remember a couple weeks ago, there were 2 murders in about 3 hours of each other on a Saturday in Jxn. One of them was caught on video, and it went super viral at some apartments off Bailey Avenue. One kid murdering another child. Then there was another one at a funeral home right, I want to say it's West Haven, but it's right there on Robinson Road. WLBT.com. Jxn, Mississippi. JPD arrests 2 men for murder after shooting at a funeral home last month. Jeremiah Blau, 19, and Clyde Green, 18, are charged with murder and shooting into an occupied vehicle. Their arrests are linked to a murder at a funeral home last month. May Aglabagla, 21, is also charged with murder. He was arrested shortly after the shooting. Walter Hart Jr. was shot outside the funeral home during services for Tremaine Green. An argument over Hart's presence in the shooting occurred shortly after. Yeah, it was West Haven Memorial Funeral Home right there on Robinson Road, right behind the old Kmart on 80 there. So good job, great job, JPD. Made an arrest there. Got some criminals off the streets. Hopefully, Judge Green will not issue them bond, and they will stay off the streets. So, some depressing news. Wells Fest has been canceled this year. The festival and the 5K run were scheduled for September 22nd. The golf tournament for September 20. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. Wells Fest activities for Saturday, September 26th, and the 5K run, September 22nd art night, and the September 23rd golf tournament have all been canceled. So anything to do with Wells Fest this year has been hit by the COVID-nator. Oh, yeah. Jim Cantori is on the coast now. So, you know, he might as well just rent a condo down there. I got the Weather Channel on in the background. I cut it on the NFL for 5 seconds, and half the Broncos were kneeling. It's like, click. I'm out. Don't bring your drama to work. All right, let's see here. What else we got? I think since the last time we were on, so we had the Trump boat parade. That was great. I was at work, didn't get to go to it. Right at 500 boats showed up. I saw a clicker where somebody had counted all the boats. It was at 469, and that was pretty early in the day. So I would say probably about 500 boats showed up. That is a big turnout for anything on our reservoir. Big turnout. That's bigger than Pepsi Pops as far as boats on water. That's bigger than a lot of that stuff. So great job. Great peaceful protest. Good fun. Nobody got hurt. Just good times. No businesses got burned down. Nothing. Great event. Great event for Ridgeland and Rankin County. We got a bunch of pictures on the Facebook page. I made a little picture video on YouTube and Facebook. Shared it with some of the video footage I was sent also. Just good stuff. Nick says, I guess the St. Patrick's Day will be done now. I'm going to tell you what, Nick, I've heard... I don't think I'm breaking too much news here. I think everybody knows that St. Patrick's Days in Jackson are numbered. And I talked to a pretty good source not too long ago that says it could be moving slightly east to the other side of the river. Not my event, not my city, not any of that stuff, so I don't want to be the one to say it and it be untrue, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's done. And you can start to see it coming unwound when the city and Malcolm and them got into it over barricade and the purchasing of barricade. So, yeah, I would be surprised if St. Patrick's Day comes back. And if you lose St. Patrick's Day parade, and I know it's just a one-day event, what is left? I know you got the fair, but that's on state grounds, not city grounds. That's a lot of money that comes into the city and is taken right back out of state. That's a weird deal. I know the hotels immediately around that do all right with people working there and stuff. But so you had the fair, you had the Dixie Nationals. If you lose, you've already lost all the concerts. No big concerts come here anymore. I don't know, man. The city's going to be in bad shape. Yeah, nigga, it's a beast. I hadn't been in a few years. I just got tired of it. I got to the point in life where I spend all year avoiding everybody I dislike. So I don't want to go to the fair or St. Patty's Day and run into everybody that I spend all year avoiding. I just don't really care for big crowds locally anymore. I love going out of town and partying though. But you still hate to see the city lose any big events. I hate to see the bars down there lose any big events. I know bars like Martin's and them, they make a big payday on those things, weather permitting. I don't want to see my people I respect, lose a penny. I hope it goes on, but it's a bad look. I caught hellfire for even suggesting that it may get canceled this year about a week before it actually got canceled. I was like, they're canceling everything else. I'd be surprised if that event survived, and sure as hell, it didn't. So, I hate it. I'm trying to remember, man. I want to say that it ended up raining that day anyway. I had to go back and look. But I just remember thinking to myself, I bet it ends up raining that day anyway, and I think it did. Or maybe I thought that it might, and it didn't. Hell, I don't know. Anyway, it kind of spiraled to where it was just a bunch of damn fights and drunks outside of the main drag there. People are scared to come to Jackson. Nobody wants to come deal with the bullshit. Was it last year, year before last, that the city and the fair folks, or the county and the fair folks, were fighting over who. They went up to the damn day of the fair almost, not knowing who was going to do the security. The sheriff's department, like on the outside, the sheriff's department does it inside the fairgrounds, but around the perimeter, JPD does. You know, they literally went up to the last second. They were trying to figure out who was going to handle that. It's a bad deal. The city's in bad shape. Mike asked, why is Jxn so resistant to success? Poor leadership. It is revenge politics. It's the same thing that went on in Detroit. It was 50 years of revenge politics. You know, it was like, now that you're out of office and we're in office, we're going to do everything we can to destroy anything you did. Can somebody name me a city? Real talk here. What you would consider a major city, mid-sized, Jxn and above, that's got Democrat majority leadership, supermajority leadership, that is in good shape, that's not in the top 10 in murder and crime. I don't think it exists. I mean, you look at Jxn, Memphis, New Orleans. I mean, at least New Orleans and Memphis have stuff to do. I mean, they have culture. What does Jxn hang its hat on? I talk about this all the time. What do we hang our hats on? Like, what defines Jxn other than what good defines Jxn? And don't say Fondren. One city block with a couple fancy restaurants don't define a city. But I mean, like, what is Jxn? The only place around here with strip clubs? I mean, nothing good defines it anymore. The zoo is barely open. You can't hardly get to it without flying into it, and you about need a helicopter to get there. No concerts come here. The state fair is run by the state, not the city. It's on state grounds, not public roads. You don't have Jubilee Jam. I mean, what defines this city in a positive way? The convention center's been a bust. Complete and utter bust. They can't even get anybody to build a convention center hotel down there. Meanwhile, the state has gotten tired of it, and they just decided to build their own new trademark center adjoined to a 60-something-year-old Coliseum. Which I'm not necessarily a fan of that either, but if it brings more events here, great. It looks nice. I know the convention center has new management, but somebody says it all died with Jubilee Jam. You know. So I went back the last couple of days and been watching some of my early shows that I did with this Jxn Uncensored stuff. And I want to say it was the first time I hosted, Napoleon had something he had to do one morning. He asked me would I host the morning show on WPBQ. So I went out there and did it. And I just said, man, I'm just going to run with the greatest hits this morning. First time I'd ever done radio by myself. And we talked about why Jxn doesn't have an amphitheater. Why Jxn doesn't have a new arena. Why Jxn doesn't have any entertainment venues other than nightclubs and the Coliseum. Why the Braves ended up in Pearl instead of Jxn, which I still don't think that was a bad deal. It's a bad deal for either party. I think it worked for Pearl, and I think Jxn would have dropped the ball. It worked out perfectly. He would be sitting there with an empty stadium and no Braves and half-ass rap concerts in the corner every other weekend. It worked out for the best. We talked about why Fair Street start, stop. You know, about the only good thing that's really happened in Jackson's along Capitol Street, and that's all private funds. Turning Capitol Street into a two-way, good idea. You know, I didn't like it at first. I thought, why would you run off what business you have down here, but I think it's working. You know, you got people, the few old buildings in town they didn't tear down to build parking garages are being renovated and turned into lofts, and you're slowly getting people down there. But it's going to take some kind of massive center city type development where you live, work, play all in the same area to really take that big step. You know, that big step. Like almost build a downtown within a downtown. You're going to have a grocery store. You're going to have gas stations people don't feel like they're going to get shot at. You're going to have to be able to walk around and feel safe. And I just don't know that you have that. And I respect the hell out of people going down there and investing money in places that have stayed down there, the Mayflower, all that, you know, the Iron Horse, you know, people who have gone and invested in that area. Man, I get it, man. I know that sometimes what I talk about here can sound like I'm trying to hurt y'all. I'm not. I'm trying to hold your leaders accountable, or our leaders accountable, to bring more stuff to you. But I have a unique way of doing it and getting my message out there because I'm tired of this sugarcoating bullshit that these politicians and local media do. It's like everybody is scared of offending somebody. And I'm just not. I don't care anymore. I do not care if any of y'all like me. My family loves me. My wife loves me. I have a couple, 2 or 3 really good friends. And I love all y'all. I hope y'all like me, but I don't care if you do. I don't care if every one of y'all try to fight me when you see me in public over what I say on here. If you don't, great. But my point being, I'm at the point in my life where I would rather just tell you exactly how I feel and try to better the situation by holding people accountable than if I ever make another new friend. And unfortunately, enough people in Jackson aren't like that. Everybody's trying to jockey and be like, well, if I'm nice to this guy, what can happen? You know, everybody's kissing everybody's ass in a circle jerk instead of trying to actually do anything. You know, I've just reached a point in my life where I just don't care anymore. I do not care about me personally. I don't care if you like me or not. I do care about the city and would like to see something good come out of it, but I lose more and more faith every day. Let's check out the comments here. We're holding on to a pretty good crowd tonight, man. Thank y'all. Let me jump back into something real quick here. We have a brand new sponsor on the show. And what's really cool about the sponsors on this show is it's people that listen to the show. We don't go out and seek sponsors necessarily. The people that you hear me talk about on the show, they are listeners of the show. And that is really cool to me. If you're looking to promote your business, reach out to me. We've got some very affordable plans. I'm not going to discuss pricing on the air. I don't think it's fair to do that. But everybody pays the same. Whether you cut grass or have a multi-million-dollar car lot, everybody pays the same price. We're very fair. I want to welcome Danny and his crew, Father and a Son Lawn Care. They're locally owned, locally operated. They operate within the Tri-County area, all your suburbs around Jackson, Clinton, Byram, Pearl, Brandon, Florence, Richland, right around this area here. You can reach Danny at 601-301-3210. That is Father and a Son Lawn Care right here. Danny is a lifelong South Jacksonian, same age as me, 43. Hit him up. I'm going to share their Facebook link and all that when I get off the air here. You can see some of their pictures and some of the great stuff they do. The gym at Byram. Thanks to Tate Reeves taking his foot off our necks a little bit today. The gyms can open back up 24/7. So the gym at Byram, I've been telling y'all it was coming. They're back to being 24/7, effective immediately. Give them a call. Check them out, thegymatbyram.com. Another great locally owned, family operated business right here in Byram, South Jackson, born and raised. Great people. See if there's anything here I'm missing. I'm telling y'all, when I get off here, I'm going to put a fun post together tonight with screenshots of everybody saying mean things about me. I'm being facetious when I say that. I hope y'all know that. I don't care what y'all say about me, but don't be so hateful to everybody else. Have a sense of humor, maybe. I mean, I know it's hard. I know in the COVID times and all the mean things that Orange Man has done to everybody, I know it's tough to have a sense of humor. But none of us are going to get off this rock alive. So we might as well try to get along a little bit. And I know I need to practice what I preach a little bit. But come on. Take a deep breath. Do it with me here. Breathe out. Woosah. That's a Bad Boys reference. My screen here is running about 10 seconds behind, and I just saw myself doing that. That is probably going to be the thumbnail for this episode. So look, how long have we been running on here? We're on here 49 minutes. Let me read through some of y'all's comments here, because I don't have a whole lot to say tonight. I just wanted to get on and thank God we don't have any homicides to discuss tonight. Knock on wood. You know what? Let me ask y'all something. I want some serious answers here. Avoid the typical snarkiness of this page. What would it take? Let's just pretend for 1 second that crime was not the most immediate thing. If your safety wasn't the first thing you were worried about in Jackson, what would bring you back to the city? What would it take? Would it take? When I say to bring you back to the city, I don't even necessarily mean move here, but that's a topic too. What would make you move back to the city? Would you consider moving somewhere in, say, South Jackson and buying a couple lots, tearing down some houses, and building one house where 3 once stood? If you knew 10 other people were going to do it. Would you gentrify? I mean, is that gentrifying? I mean, I think South Jackson's beyond gentrifying. It needs to be, the better part of it needs to be bulldozed and just start over. Gentrifying is you kind of redo property. But would you do that? Would you go buy 3 or 4 lots and build on it? What would it take to get you to go open a business in Jackson? Infrastructure, clean running water, the police actually caring when you call. My little light over here just went out on me. What would it take to get you to come back to Jackson, to come back home? Because most of you are from Jackson. I think that's why you watch this page is you still live close or you live here. So, what would it take? Cool music venues, shopping, restaurants, new leadership. I'm just reading some comments here. Total overhaul, everything, literally everything. Taxes are too high. Tags are too high. Somebody says concerts. The Krispy Kreme on County Line. I'm just saying, I mean, there's nothing to come to Jackson for. I mean, enough to schedule anything to justify being in Jackson. I mean, the bars and restaurants are basically shut down for the most part. And I mean, and then you get to a point in your life where bars and restaurants are not the priority. Is it schools? I mean, is that a big part of it? I think the schools are the biggest issue in Jackson. I think that's what keeps middle class families from staying here that can afford to stay here. Or even that want to stay here. I think it is the schools. Above and beyond everything else. Because there's some nice neighborhoods still around Jackson. You can find good places to live. It's not, the whole thing is not shot. There are still good, I live in a nice neighborhood in South Jackson. There are still nice neighborhoods around here with good folks. But I'm talking to folks who have left. I mean, is it schools? Is it potholes? Is it just, there's so many different things that need to be fixed. Like, where do you start? Like, what's the one thing that if they said, okay, look, if you'll move back, we'll fix one thing. What is that one thing? If you could wave a magic wand and they fixed one thing, is it crime? Is it schools? Is it infrastructure? If you fix crime, does the rest follow? If you fix infrastructure, does the rest follow? I mean, where do you start? Yeah, Jessica, my daughter finished up at private school. She finished up at Hillcrest. And, because there was just no way we're, under any circumstances where we're going to send her to JPS. And I know that some people find that offensive, and I'm sorry. I'm not necessarily talking about your kid, but there's a bunch of badass kids there and not fond of a lot of the teachers, the administration. If you can afford by any means necessary to send your kid somewhere else, why in God's name would you send them to JPS outside of one of the magnet schools? Again, I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. I understand there's good people and teachers and staff and stuff in these facilities. But overall, the culture is the problem. Yeah, Nikki, I agree. It is an unending question. That's why I don't know. Somebody says a pro-cop mayor and a tough on crime police chief. Yeah, Jennifer, I know that's it. So my mom's in real estate. She goes, younger couples' first question is, what is the school district like? And if you don't raise your kids here, let me try to explain this. Like, in 20 years, is there going to be another Clay that got aggravated with Jxn and said, I'm going to start a Save Jxn page and bring to light all the BS that goes on around here? Are we cultivating the next generation of guys like me? Guys like the Shanks, and endless others, who love this city and still fight for it. My buddy Danny, that came on as a sponsor tonight, that still lives in Jxn. Are we cultivating the next generation of people who love this city so much they're willing to put themselves when I say in front of a bullet, I don't mean literally, but I mean to catch the flack that I've caught for doing this? Is there a generation that we're raising that's going to have such fond memories of Jxn that they're willing to kind of risk it all to fight for it? I mean, I don't know what you're fighting for. If you were born today and in 25 years you were asked to talk about the good memories of growing up in Jxn, I don't know what you could possibly talk about. Come on, there's a little female Clay out there now. Yeah, but she don't love Jxn. Nikki says there won't be a Jxn in 20 years. Yeah, Danny, I agree, man. Everybody's very scared to say what the problem is. Nobody wants to get canceled. You just you can't just call a spade a spade. The problem is too many single parent homes, not enough parents raising their kids right. Period. And that's the problem in every low income area for the most part. There's parents are having to work, kids are left up to their own demise, and all hell breaks loose. We're going to see. I'm telling you, there's going to be studies done by people way smarter than me in a couple years down the road at the long-term effects of JPS canceling in-class learning this year. And what have been for basically a year and a half by the time it's all said and done, hopefully, at the most. I mean, I know last year was a statewide thing that was not JPS, but I'm just lumping it all together. There will be studies done about the effect of crime and education and poverty and the lack thereof education at a very important developmental age for kids that needed hands-on teaching. And I think we're going to look back and be like, man, we really effed up. And by we, I mean JPS. You really effed up. And we, not I, who voted for him, for Chokwe, who appointed these weak-ass leaders into their positions. You know, like everybody wanted to make, it's like if you canceled anything, you became a hero. You rose above it. You canceled in spite of the public backlash. Like somehow canceling everything was a heroic thing. Heroic. And like I think everybody who hollered about cancel this, cancel that, especially in the, I'm going to take this back to sports, especially in the sports media, your guys like Dan Woken and a bunch of them retards, they shouldn't be allowed a press credential again. They should not be allowed a paycheck for discussing sports again. These guys fought tooth and nail for sports to be canceled. And there's some local yokels around here too, and a lot of them cover high school sports that just were astounded that other school districts were going to play. And it just blows my mind that we still give these people a platform at the Clarion Ledger and at some of these other places to even talk about sports. It's like you get paid to cover sports, but you want to cancel sports. That has got to be the dumbest. Like I got into it with some of the national folks out of New York. It didn't Bleacher Report, but it was the other one that they fired their entire staff. And I was like, go woke, go broke. And I tagged them. And we went at it all day one day. I was like, you wanted sports canceled, and now you got canceled. That if there's no sports to cover, guess what, Hoss? There's no need for you. There's a million other of you to talk about why sports shouldn't be played. Why would they pay you to do it? Anyway, a little off track there, but we're going to get down the road here, and we're just going to say, well, we're going to look back at this little run of COVID here. And if there was ever a final death knell in a city, this is going to be it. You'll have little areas that survive. You'll have people with hustler mentality and a little cash that come back, and you'll create a black market for some stuff. Like people like me, we figure out a way to strive in situations like this. And I'm just saying people that are kind of cut from a cloth of having to provide for themselves. There's a lot of that in Jackson. That is that is a strong point of Jackson that doesn't get talked about. Jackson is when I say hustler's paradise, I don't mean, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean, it's hustlers, man. People who are willing to get out there and hustle for theirs. Yeah, sure. There's people that want to hand out. There's that everywhere, but there will be opportunity. Excuse me. There will be opportunity. You have to figure it out. I mean, there's going to be opportunity nationwide. What I would love to see happen is the federal government create a go zone here in this area, like they did post Katrina. And I would think you would see a lot of business come here, but it's going to take some good leadership, and that's a whole nother show with economic development people who are way smarter than me. But I don't see how a go zone would be a bad thing in Jackson, Mississippi, where we're centrally located. It just makes all the sense in the world. We know the metro thing ain't going to happen. That is begging to be an Amazon or distribution center, a Walmart distribution center, the old metro. All your major interstates right there. 3 hours, every major city around us. 5 hours, Atlanta, 5 hours, Dallas, maybe a little further by 18-wheeler, 6 hours, 7 hours. You get what I'm saying. Jackson is very centrally located. Where Jackson Square is, there at 55 and 20 at McDowell Road. We have plenty of cheap real estate around here and plenty of immediate access to interstates. Why are we not doing it? It may be industrial. I get it. Industrial ain't sexy. UPS as their major hub right there at McDowell Road. FedEx is right there in Richland. Why can't we get one of these? Why is Amazon paying top dollar for land in Madison County? Jackson should have given it to them. Built the infrastructure, done everything. Please come here. Please, Amazon. Please, Jeff Bezos. Please. I mean, I get it. I know it ain't as easy as that. But you just feel like no effort is put into any of this stuff. I mean, like, nobody's leaking it to the press. Yeah, we're working on Amazon. I mean, these bleepers are calling press conferences to pave roads that there's no businesses or houses on. The end of Lynch Street that runs behind the old Metro Center. Come on, man. Somebody says rumor that UPS is moving to Richland. Would not surprise me a lick if UPS moved to Richland. I actually talked about this, I want to say with Crystal the other day, or Shannon when me and him were riding around. So if Jackson loses UPS, whatever little bit is left. Because if you'll ride down that part of McDowell Road there where UPS is, right there over the railroad tracks, by the detention center and all that, the roads are terrible. If I was Jackson, I would have that cut, clean, paved, whatever UPS, whatever we need to do, sir. Yes, sir, UPS. Whatever, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You want donuts? I got you, sir. You need police out here 24/7? I got you, sir. We'll put a little substation here where the strip club used to be. Whatever we need to do for you, sir. I mean, it's all that's left. Why would you not do everything it took to keep UPS there? And maybe if it felt a little safer right there, other businesses would go. But you know what JPD did? And sometimes I say JPS and I mean JPD and vice versa. But you know what I'm talking about. Remember a couple years ago right there at the Mississippi Seafood thing, and it may have been one of the other businesses right there, I can't remember. There was a guy breaking in a car, and him and the owner got into a scuffle, and the owner shot the young man and killed him in front of the business there. And the city charged that man with murder. Now, I need to check out the outcome of that. So much happens in Jackson at a breakneck pace that I tend to forget what happened with certain high-profile things. But they charged a man with murder. Of course, they would do that now. And when I say, I'm not necessarily talking about JPD. They're doing their job once it goes up the ladder into the legal system. The DA charged this man with murder for defending his property and himself in front of his business. It's terrible, man. And come to find out that kid had done all kind of, I think he had shot somebody else or stole a car. I can't remember, but it was not his first situation of the day. I mean, if y'all see me looking at the TV, I got the weather, the hurricane tracker on, so I'm trying to keep up with that. Weather's my side chick. I love keeping up with weather. Christy says she thinks she got out of it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that when I get off here tonight. I saw something else in my YouTube Jackson, Mississippi adventures the other day that I meant to share, but I hated to reshare it. I don't mind talking about it on the feed here because there's only about 100 of us and only so many people go back and watch this thing, about 2,500 to 5,000, which that's a lot. But anyway, what about, do y'all remember a couple years ago at Top Dollar Pawn over there on West Street? There was a guy in there filming or doing a Facebook Live or filming on his phone, and he had done pissed off the guys that worked there, and one of them reached back and punched him in the face from behind on camera. It made the news and everything. It was a white guy that worked there and punched a black guy. I ran across that news story on Facebook on YouTube the other day. I'd forgotten all about that. Jamie, what is radar scope? Jamie edited radar scope here. I'm not familiar with that. Let's see. Zach says, I think those charges were dropped and that guy got acquitted. Okay, good. Grand jury and refused to indict the business owner. Good thing. I mean, but he should have never had to go through that. It was on film. I mean, it was all on camera there. I was listening to Tim Pool the other day, and I can't recommend Tim enough. If you just kind of want some non-bias news reading, Tim was a former Bernie bro who kind of took a red pill, but he's still very left-leaning. He's a great follow. I think he's an easy follow regardless of what side of the aisle you're on. I discovered him on Joe Rogan one time, and he was chewing out the Twitter folks in person. It was great. Anyhow, he was talking about kind of living in the surveillance state, and he made a point. He's like, there is one upside to the surveillance state, and if you don't know what that is, where there's cameras on every corner, everywhere. Everything's tied into a God's eye type system. He's like, we always talk about it catching criminals and invading your privacy, but we never discuss the fact that it can actually save you, like your freedom. Like they can accuse you of something, and then you can say, well, no, go back and check the cameras. And they go back and check the cameras, like, you know what, sir, you're right. You weren't there. That was, you were over here at that time. I would rather not have the surveillance state, but I am saying I guess I had never looked at it from a positive point of view, that it could actually get somebody off of a crime. But I guess you still got crazy DAs and all that crap now, so it doesn't necessarily matter. Yeah, smart city. Let me tell you about, speaking of smart cities in Jackson. So they put these cameras up all over the place, with the crime center cameras. And every one of them has the blue lights flashing on them. Now, you're going to tell the criminals we have cameras here. Do your crime elsewhere. I mean, I don't want them to just go try to do crime stuff and then we film them doing it. I mean, I'm for the understanding of crime prevention, but my understanding of the way criminals work is if you tell them there's a camera on this side of the building, they're just going to go to the other side of the building. I don't know why you want to flash the lights on these new systems. I mean, is that part of the whole thing now after the whole red light debacle with the last one where people said it was a violation of their civil rights to get a ticket for running a red light without a cop actually seeing it? So do they have to tell you these cameras are there now? I haven't really looked into it. These are just things I see in my daily travels that make me go, real quick. Couple events coming up. People ask me to mention all the time. Well, people send me events to mention all the time, and some I want to get behind, some I don't know. But there's a big protest, a peaceful protest and a prayer gathering. Let me read it out to you here. It goes, this Saturday in Jackson, are you sick of the masks? Tired of 2 weeks becoming 6 months and never ending? Ready to have your voice heard? Tired of the endless mandates from tape? Ready to shake things up? First, this is a peaceful protest. The tentative agenda of the day: a prayer and speaker at the Capitol, a march to the governor's mansion, pledge of allegiance and speakers at mansion, march back to Capitol, speaker at Capitol, followed by worship, band, prayer, lunch picnic. I was actually asked to speak at this event, but I got to work. We will need signs, bullhorns, bring extra bottles of water to share, rally, stay after the Mississippi Block Party picnic. So anyway, this Saturday, there's a big event downtown, marching from the Capitol to the governor's mansion, back to the Capitol. They emailed it to me. I'll share the link on the page of that too. So if you got some time this weekend and you want to go protest peacefully downtown, this is the weekend to do it. Definitely a kind of a conservative-based protest. Let me see here, man. The guys at one of the charities. Okay, here it is. Fifth Squad is a great local charity. They help veterans and whatnot. They're having their big inaugural Jacob Campbell Memorial Golf Scramble, October 1st, 2020, at Castlewoods Country Club. If you're interested, check out fifthsquad.com. That's the number 5, fifthsquad.com. And check out the details for their inaugural Jacob Campbell Memorial Golf Scramble, October 1st, 2020 at Castle Woods Country Club. All the details will be there, and I'll share this as well. Well, look, been on here for a while now. Had a little fun sharing things that mean people said about me online. We'll have some more fun with that over the days. I'm sure when I burn that mask tomorrow, they're going to have an absolute meltdown, and I'm going to go viral, and they're going to try to get me canceled for burning something that I paid for. So I guess burning masks now is the equivalent to burning crosses. We'll see. People have lost their damn minds. I have white people telling me it's racist for me to burn for me to burn mask. So I can't wait. I guess at this point I just keep poking the bear and poking the bear and poking the bear. You know, it's just like every time I say something stupid, they one up it. It's like, come on, man. There's people on the TV behind me here or in front of me talking about riding out the hurricane, but they got their mask on. Nothing I'm going to say is going to be nice. I'm going to sound like one of the mean people online. Oh, yeah, I got called the devil the other day. That was good. That was good. All right, look. Y'all check out our sponsors. The Gym at Byram. Check them out online, thegym@byram.com. Check out Danny White, Father and a Son Lawn Care. They're on Facebook as well. You can reach them at 601-301-3210, locally owned and operated, doing lawn care in the Tri-County area, specifically Hinds and Rankin counties, Byram, Clinton, Pearl, Brandon, Florence, Richland. Been around for a long time. Great company, locally owned. I love to make sure I say all that, locally owned. These are the people to support. These are the people that need our help through COVID times and shutdowns and lockdowns. The Gym at Byram, locally owned. USA Pawn, great guys, locally owned. Guns and Gear, great guys, locally owned. I'm not against taking some nationally owned money, but it's going to cost them more. Look, y'all have a blessed night. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm off tomorrow. I'm going to burn some masks, have a good time, piss some people off, make a great day of it. Peace.